So MSTY had a nice pop up today. We're going to look at that. And as you can see, that did raise that distribution rate for the day up to 133 from 130 yesterday. We're going to see if we did stay on top of that support line. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today we're going to take a look at MSTY. Yesterday we did look at the chart and we did see where we were sitting on top of that support line. And today we're going to see if we're still holding true to that. And do we see anything coming in the near future for MSTY? We're also going to take a look at my spreadsheet, as I did have a comment about one of the columns having the incorrect format. So I wanted to show you how to fix that, or how you can download the updated version. And I'm also going to go over how to make a new tab if you have more than one stock that you're trying to track. So let's just go right over to the charts here and we're going to check out MSTY. So here we are on the charts, and as you can see here, I've got the actual turned on, and this is the actual price chart, and I use it whenever I'm looking to see if it's at a resistance line or a support line, and then I will switch it to the adjusted if I'm going to look at the indicators like the Bollinger Band and such. So here I've got it on the actual. So let's look at the support line here, and we had this support line here drawn in at that $22.91. And as you can see, yesterday we did come down and we were testing that line. And today it held strong. It actually bounced right off of that line and up it went, right? So we ended up closing about where we opened yesterday. So that was a nice recovery. I hope that we can continue to move on up with MSTY. We do have another resistance here at $25.30. That's this orange line right here that I'm showing. So if we are going to bounce off of this line at that 22.91, we will look to see if this 25.30 will be a bit of a resistance for our plays here. Now we can take a look at MSTY, and you're going to see, notice that the charts, they look pretty similar. But let's look at MSTY. Here you can see we did bounce off of that same, roughly same support line, right? That support line was at the touch of these bottoms here, and it did bounce off of it. We do have that next resistance line here at about 430.35, and that's where it topped out here and then came down. So we're going to assume that that might be a little bit of a resistance right there at that 430.35. So it looks like we might be trading within a little bit of a range here, but we'll see. Can we break out of that 430.35 and make some new highs? Or will we come down and retest this 403.90 again? But overall, we did have a nice pop up today with a nice green candle. You can see here we had a nice volume here on the green candle. The MACD, it is still above that signal line, so it's still positive. The momentum here is dropping though, so it is losing some steam. As you can see here, we had 4.73, 3.56, and 3.49. So it is dropping a little bit, but not much. So hopefully we can get up a little steam and start moving back up, and we can start getting more momentum and start rallying right past that 430.35. The RSI here, we're setting on a RSI 14 of 70.24. So we are right there across the line of the overbought. So that's not a good sign for a positive or potential move up, but it doesn't mean that it can't keep on going and the RSI will just keep rising. But we would like to see that RSI cool down a little bit. So maybe that's what MSTY will do. It'll start trading a little bit sideways here, let that RSI cool down a little bit right before it takes off. So we'll give it some time and we will see. Now before I go over to my spreadsheet here, just wanted to take a quick glance at the SPY. This is the S&P 500, and as you can see, it had a huge pop on Monday because we had closed at 564.34, and then we opened on Monday at 581.47. Crazy. What a move. But a lot of the semiconductors really popped today. We have AMD that had a nice move up. NVDY, nice move up. So there's a lot of those that have really pushed the SPY here. So let's just go ahead and go over my spreadsheet here where I can show you some of the fixes that I made and also how to create a new tab so that you can track another position that you may have. Okay, so here we are on my spreadsheet here, and this is just a copy of that spreadsheet. Okay. This here is the one that I had made those changes on, right? I had actually added those distributions per share column, and I added the eligible number of shares per, for this column here. And then this column here for the amount earned will do the calculation for you. The section over here did not change. It's still the buy price and the number of shares. And like I stated before, if you do sell shares, then you'll put the buy price at what price you sold the shares, and then the number of shares would be a minus X number of shares that you've sold. And of course, before you even start entering anything, always go ahead and first enter your ticker symbol that you are going to be tracking for this sheet. And in my case, I'm using MSTY, so I would put MSTY in this box, and then I would enter my purchases, and then I would enter in my distributions as I earn them. And then if I have any option premium that I've earned, then I would enter that over here as well. And of course, this toggle switch right here, it is set to no. So if you want to include this premium as part of your calculation, just click it, do the drop down, click yes, and it will then calculate and add your premium over here that you've added or included, and it will drop it into the premium earned box here, which will then be used to help calculate and bring down your average price per share. But of course, if you haven't sold any premium, then you can just leave this over here blank. You'll just end up leaving that whole thing blank, and then you'll just, whether you have it at yes or no, it's not going to matter because there's nothing there to add and subtract. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to show is, as you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, there is the simple stock tracker and in quotations MSTY. Okay, so I've got the name of it in here. If you were going to use PLTY or something, then of course up here at the top, you would enter PLTY, and then in the tab down here, you could enter and replace MSTY with PLTY. It's pretty simple to change it. All you have to do is you can double click it, put your cursor inside there, you back out MSTY, and you enter in the stock that you are using this sheet for, like for instance PLTY. And of course that will then match the one that you have up here. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you're using, but it's good to have the two to match. So to get it to match, just double click it, put your cursor in there, back out the MSTY, and replace it with your stock ticker. It doesn't change anything. It's not going to affect any of the calculations, but it's just for bookkeeping and organization for yourself. So for this one here, we're going to go back, and I'm going to put this one back to MSTY. All right. And then I'm going to show you how to make a duplicate of this sheet so that you can use it for, say, another stock position. So to do that, you put your cursor over top of the tab and you right click on it. And you'll see right here it says duplicate. Now when you click that, it will make a duplicate of that single tab right here. See, right there's MSTY. And if I enter this so that you can see that it is different, I'll enter MSTY up here and say that's what I'm going to use this sheet for. And then I can click the other one here. Now it says copy of simple stock tracker MSTY. Well, this one here, we're going to use it, say, for PLTY. Okay, so now I've got PLTY, and as you can see, PLTY just shot up today too. I mean, It went to $70.65. Woohoo! Yes. Love it, love it. So excited about that. Okay, but anyway, so now to get your organization back in line here, since we're using PLTY for this one, then let's just double click on the tab here. It'll highlight the whole thing, and we don't necessarily need to say a copy of, so we can take the copy of part out. Now you'll see it turns red, and why it turned red is because it is the same name as the tab before now. That's why it said copy of, to make it a different tab. But if I remove copy of, now it's saying, oh, this tab already exists, it can't be the same name. So that's why we would go in here and highlight or put our little cursor right there, and we would back out MSTY, and we can put in PLTY, as this one is the one we would be using for example of using PLTY. And then we can hit our enter button there, and now it's all set and done. So now I have one for MSTY and I have one for PLTY. So each one that I can track my positions that I have in each, and to help keep track of my adjusted price per share. And if you get confused of not knowing or remembering where you put what, I do have the example here on this last tab. And it's just basically a snapshot in time here of when I was filling this sheet out, and I just entered in the information that I had from my sheet at the time. This is not my up-to-date position. This is only for example purposes only, just so that you can see how it works. You can delete it, you can play with it, you can change it. It doesn't matter. It is your spreadsheet, and you can do whatever you want to with the example tab or any of the tabs really. So I just wanted to show that I do have an example in here. So if you're not sure what goes where, then you can look at this and you can see, oh, okay, it's the distribution per share price that I enter into this column. So it's just for your help if you're more of a visual person like myself. So there we have how to create that duplicate tab. And if you make an extra duplicate tab and you decide that you don't want it, you can always right click on that tab that you don't want. Say like this PLTY, and I could just simply delete that tab. And when I delete, it will tell me and ask me, are you sure you want to delete this sheet? And yes, I do want to delete that sheet. I'm not needing it anymore. So now I am left with just my MSTY tab. And one other thing that I'm not sure I mentioned or not, but I did correct the format in this column here. The eligible number of shares. Now, whenever I enter a number, it is just that number, right? It is a 2 without the $sign. The format was wrong on that one, and I just wanted to show you how to fix it if you have this sheet and yours is showing a $sign here. You can do one of two things. You can go back into that same shareable link, that view only link, and you can download the updated one and just plug your stuff back in, or you can simply go in here and just change the format for yourself. It is your sheet, so you can do with it what you will. But to do that, if you're looking to change that format for yourself, which is pretty simple, all you do, if you click and hold your left mouse button and you drag it all the way down to the bottom, okay? You just roll it all the way down. It goes on and on for a little while. It's about 1,000 rows, right? So I'll just take it down just a little bit, just so you can see. See, it just goes on and on, right? All right, so once you get down to the bottom, I'm not going to scroll all the way to the bottom, so you don't want to sit here and just watch this thing scroll. So once you scroll to the bottom and you get them all highlighted, then you'll go up here to Format, and you click Format, and then you'll go to where it says Number, and you'll notice that it was selected as currency. So it had that $sign on it, right? So we want to fix that, and we'll say Format, the number, and now we want it to be just that. We just want it to be a number. So we'll click Number, and now it is just that. It is not currency, it is a number. So that should fix that little format issue if you have already downloaded the sheet. It's not a big deal. It's not going to mess up any calculations, but the fact that it had that dollar sign in it, it just didn't make sense, right? Because it's the number of shares, not a dollar value. This one over here had the dollar value. As you can see, it has a dollar value here because that is the price per share, and then the number of shares, and then this one here will do the calculations of just multiplying the two together. So I just wanted to point out that it is now fixed, and I've also showed you how to fix it on your sheet as well. But if you can't figure that part out, that's no problem. Just go back to that viewable only link or Google sheet that you have that's probably sitting in your Google Drive, and just make a new copy of that one, and that will take care of it, and you can plug your numbers into that sheet again. I hope this was a little helpful, and I was super excited about MSTY. Nice moves, and man, did PLTY take off, right? So I think I'm gonna wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. It'd be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, Legend out.